Hello there, and thank you for joining us on our 7-day Caribbean cruise on board the Celebrity Beyond. On this cruise, we're departing out of Miami before having a couple of days at sea and then visiting Sint Maarten, San Juan, another day at sea, and then Coco Cay in the Bahamas, which is Royal Caribbean and Celebrity's private island. The Beyond has recently moved down to Miami, and it has taken over the really nice new terminal that Royal Caribbean is using at the very south end of the Port of Miami, and figured we'd give you a little bit of a tour here of kind of what this is like. It's very easy to use and get on. It's a very well set up, great big terminal to get on the ship and kind of get a little quick tour inside here before we head out on deck and let you see exactly what it's like sailing out of the Port of Miami, which in my opinion is one of the more picturesque ports that you'll find here in the United States that you can sail out of. It's pretty nice. And then we also got a pretty good shot here of the pilot boat actually coming back to pick up the pilot here in the center screen. If you watch that, you'll see him jumping on the side. Best I could get from the available deck space they have there on the Beyond, but kind of cool to be able to see how they come get the pilots after they leave the harbor in Miami. After that, we went ahead and went up to Eden to get a little bit of live music to relax after getting on the boat before we ended up heading off to some of the evening's performances.
The agitated and aggravated lady of the hour, the queen of hearts. Get your virtual insanity, forget your virtual reality. There's nothing so
Our next day was a day at sea, and we chose to go ahead and get up in the morning and go visit the gym. Something I don't mind doing in these class of ships because their gyms are so nice. But then after that, we decided to make it a simple hangout at the pool day. And since I'd already been to the gym, I decided not to participate in pool calisthenics, and instead I'd spend it with this hottie in a bikini right here. And then after we had a little bit of time out here on deck, we went ahead and headed off to the lunch buffet, which on the Edge class ships is probably some of the best you're going to find at sea. We really enjoy the buffet that they have on board the Edge class ships. It really is second to none on any of the cruise lines that are out there. It's excellent food no matter when you come get it. So I figure we'll give you a little bit of a tour here. And then after getting some really good food in our belly, we ended up wandering around the ship and ended up in the club with one of their game shows that was going on.
All right, everyone, give it up for our buddies. Yes. We're going to give you a question. You're going to write down the answer you choose out of the 4 options we give you. Now you're going to try and match your answer with your buddy without communicating to them.
And then after a little bit of downtime following their game show there, we went ahead and headed up to get the buffet at dinner. We didn't really eat too much in the main dining room on board. We ended up eating a lot more in the buffet. I really actually like the food in the buffet, and I like the kind of the freedom that it offers. If you're going to go see a lot of shows or do other stuff, it's easier to time it if you can just go into the buffet at whatever time you wish. It's pretty much open seating whenever you get there, and the dinner buffets on these are really easy to get into. It's never very busy in here. And unless there's something really special you're looking for in the main dining rooms, this just makes it easier to do your scheduling and go see different things that you may want to go see outside of dinner, because in the main dining, you're kind of tied to their schedule, especially if you don't have a very specific time that you like to eat at. You're a little flexible. This is a lot easier to do stuff around. And hopefully all of this delicious food will inspire you to give us a like and a subscribe if you really find any of this information useful or helpful or entertaining. And then after we got a really good meal in us, we headed off to the performance of Stage Door in the main theater.
Performance of Stage Door is about to begin.
Day 3 was another relaxing day at sea here, and I figure we'd go ahead and give you a little tour of the back of the buffet here, where they do have their own pizza making area. You can actually request an entire pizza be made for you if you wish, or you can just come back and get it by the slice. And then we also headed off to Eden to get ourselves a little bit of live acoustic performance here in the back of the ship. Tends to be a pretty nice place to relax and hang out if you're looking to do something like that. The performances are usually really good by the artists that are back here, and you'll find them doing other things throughout the ship. But I really like Eden back here because of just how relaxed and chill the environment is. You're not fighting with too many people to get a view. And then that evening we headed off to the performance of Decadence with the Eden cast back in Eden again.
Stop me now. Don't stop me. Come on. Having a good time. Having a good time.
Our first stop of the cruise was down in Sint Maarten, and here we had chosen to kind of head off and do our own thing in Sint Maarten. The nice thing about doing your own thing is you're not kind of stuck to the ship schedule, and you have a lot of flexibility in going around. Just Just be sure you get back in time and you're not one of the pier runners that ends up on videos. Here we are heading out to an area called Kimshaw Beach. It was about a 30-minute taxi ride to get over here, and if you kind of go with a group, it's not too expensive. It is a nice picturesque little beach. There are services for food and there are bathrooms in the restaurants. There's just a really nice little place here to hang out for the day. One of the other really nice things for me was at Kimshaw Beach, they do have a scuba diving company there that's right there on the beach called Ocean Explorers, which gave me the opportunity to go down and do some scuba diving at a place I'd never been scuba diving before in my life. And I was lucky enough to only go with just a small little group of 4 of us with a couple of dive masters. And it was actually really fun to go out and go scuba diving here with this group. I really enjoyed my time underwater with them. The visibility down here was actually really good, even for the water being turned up a little bit. And the dive master was pretty good about taking us around and showing us some fun stuff. We ended up heading over to some of the wreckage that was down here for some of the ships they'd sunk, and it was really easy for them to head on over and find some lobsters that were hanging out. Kind of traveled around looking through the coral reefs here, and we ended up finding a little sea crab that was down in the sand here that was more than willing to let us feed it and kind of suck some of the seaweed down for him, which was actually kind of cool to watch on camera. So we also, like I said, we found all kinds of lobster just hanging out in different places underneath wreckage, and it was actually kind of neat because these lobsters were actually really big. The highlight of the diving was actually this wreck where you could kind of swim up underneath. There's always a barracuda somewhere apparently, but he was pretty well just hanging out there, not worried about anything. But once you got inside the wreck, the fish and sea life in here was actually really plentiful. There was another, again, just huge lobster hanging out under there. And no, we did not capture any of the lobster for dinner. We just kind of let them be as scuba divers. It's not really what we're down there for. So, but yeah, the wreck itself was actually pretty cool because it was an upside down wreck, as you'll see here in a minute. Made it kind of an easy way to get in and out of the ship. But it had been down here a while. It was pretty well covered over with sea growth, but yep. There's their upside down propeller shaft from a ship that they had sunk down here to make a reef out of. But after the diving, we ended up heading back to the ship and making our way through some of the shopping areas here before we ended up getting back on board to have a little bit of additional fun on board the ship that evening. Once we got back on board and got cleaned up, we headed back to Eden to get a little bit of live music, but we also ran into them doing a preview of one of their performances that we weren't going to get a chance to go see later on in the cruise. After the performance, we headed back to Eden for dinner as it was our anniversary, and this was going to be our anniversary dinner while on the cruise. Eden is actually one of my favorite places to eat on board any cruise ship. The food is absolutely delicious, the service is really good, and the environment is amazing with the open kitchen and the view out the back of the ship. It's one of the perfect places for us to be able to celebrate our anniversary while on board the ship. The next day we ended up stopping over in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and just like in Sint Maarten, we chose to get off and kind of go do our own thing here. We ended up getting off the ship a little bit early before all the shops opened up here in San Juan, but it was actually a really nice area to walk through down by the ports. It's very pretty, well well done area that's actually one of my favorite places to kind of come just walk around and kind of sightsee, especially if you go up here to the fort that they have at the upper part of the hill in downtown San Juan here. The fort is now a national park, and it's just a $10 fee per person to get in. There's tons of information about the history of the fort that was here, and kind of its lifespan and how it's changed over the centuries. It's really neat to just kind of be able to run around the fort and kind of take a look and see all the different things that you can see. I'm not a huge historian, but this is actually a really well preserved, really well done national park that's full of a lot of old, very old history dating well back into the 15 and 1600s. It's really actually a beautiful view actually from some of the I guess lookout areas that you'd have here at the fort. After we left the fort, we decided we were hungry and decided it was time for margaritas and Mexican food, so we ended up heading to one of the nice little restaurants that was just down a little bit the hill from the fort and grabbed a whole bunch of tacos and margaritas. It is actually really, really good before we ended up heading back to the ship for that evening's entertainment. Vicky was even lucky enough to get a selfie with Captain Kirk, and they were really nice about giving us something for our anniversary here. And now it's time for the performance of Elements in the main theater. And our next day was a day at sea where we chose to spend the first part of our day out on deck, just relaxing before we headed off to the afternoon performance that Captain Kirk gives, which is his rock performance that he's able to do from time to time.
The difference with the rest of the shows is that this works with you. If you don't participate and if we don't do this together, it won't work, okay? Promise? Yeah. Great.
After all of that, we headed up to the pool deck for the Shine the Night party with the theater cast. On our next day, we ended up arriving in Coco Cay in the Bahamas, which is Royal Caribbean and celebrities' shared private island here. The island is actually huge. There is a ton of stuff that you can go do here. There are plenty of beach chairs. There's trams to get around. All of the beach chairs, if you need to, they do have umbrellas, and those are all free. You do not have to pay for beach chairs or umbrellas here. The tram service is free as well. There are a lot of places to get something to eat. There are places where you can go rent jet skis. There is just overall a lot of beach area. There are multiple bars throughout the area. There are restaurants throughout the island. It's actually a pretty well done area that makes it easy for you to kind of enjoy just a simple relaxing beach day. And there aren't a lot of things that you have to pay for if you don't want to. A lot of those cabanas that are out over there, those are going to be things that you pay for, but the food here at the snack shacks and the drinks, that's all included. You don't have to pay for any of that stuff. It's part of just what's included here on the island. There are sections that you'd have to pay for, but we'll get to those in a minute. This is not the beach area, but this is their pool area, and it's the same thing. If you want to come hang out here at the pool, you can do that instead of hanging out at the beach. You have a really nice in-pool bar there that you can go swim up to if you wish. The walking trails are all over. It's easy to get around either walking or by tram. This is one of the paid areas that you're going to run into. If they have the umbrellas with a person kind of hanging out there, you'll know it's a kind of a private area that you end up paying to get into for a little bit more privacy. But the whole rest of the island is pretty much just a big walk through and tour around. It does take a long time to walk all the way around. This is going to be a pretty long tour here, as the time spent is probably 20 or 30 minutes to walk around the whole island. It's fairly large, but you come to all these different areas that have different little beach feels to them. This is one that's got little palapa tables out in the water that you can go hang out at if you want to, but they all have some sort of like a drink area or food area that's nearby. Again, all of these cabanas like this are not free. They will be something that's paid for and extra while you're there. As you get to kind of the far end of the island, they have this really, really long nature trail that I'm going to speed through because it took a while to get through it. But it comes out to this just really small little quiet beach down here at the end. There's not a lot out there, so if you do go out there, grab something to drink before you get out there. And then as we kind of head our way back from the beach area over to the ship, you run through this just little shopping area, souvenir area that you can kind of stop in and pick something up if you wish. There's this really cool bridge that overlooks the pool area and some of the other beach areas. You're also gonna find these huge water slides and towers when you first get on the island. These are also not free. You do have to pay for that kind of stuff, but overall, if you just want a chill, relaxing day, it's a nice little place to go hang out and relax. And then what we ended up doing was getting back to the ship and heading back on a little bit early so that we could come in and give you a really good tour here of what the lunch buffet is like without a lot of people on the ship. This gives you a really good idea of just how extensive their lunch buffet really is. There are tons of carving stations. There are all these other sandwich stations, dessert stations. I think this was the gluten-free area that's over here. They have various different kinds of food. Everybody's all happy to see me because the buffet is half empty and they don't have to work quite as hard, so they're all smiling and waving. But you'll end up getting to all these different styles of food, I guess, that you come to at these different islands. Salad bar. Again, happy people that don't know they're gonna end up on video here. The sandwich area over here. There is a cheese and fruit area behind that over there. There is Asian and inspired food that's over here. There's just a variety of all kinds of different foods that they'll have. They'll even do a pasta area kind of behind this where you can kind of get your made to order pasta, whatever they're serving up that day. And as you kind of head down this, I guess, area of the buffet, you will find lots of different selections, even a vegan area for anybody who wants that. And then you'll get into the breads and pastry area over here, and the really, really delicious dessert area as well, which was super easy to get to because there was really nobody on board the ship at this point. They were really all still on Coco Cay, which made this really nice to give you a good tour of. Later that evening, as it was still kind of our anniversary cruise, we decided we would go ahead and head up to Fine Cut and do a specialty dinner at their steakhouse. This is actually one of the better steakhouses you'll find at sea, and their food is really, really good, and as a result we figured we'd go ahead and splurge a little bit and have one really good final dinner here before the cruise ended, so that we could also give you an idea of the kind of food that you're going to get here at Fine Cut. It's actually very, very good, and the steaks and desserts are delicious, yet don't mess with her dessert. That will be it for you. And that is also it for our cruise. And our return back to Miami, again, a very, very picturesque port. And as always, thank you for watching. And if you find any of this information helpful or useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe.